Today's lesson is angle relationships and parallel lines. So some vocabulary you need to know for angle relationships is that you have like adjacent angles. They share a vertex, which means a point. So if you look on the picture over here, that's their vertex. And they also share a side, and that's their side on this one. Okay? But no points in their interiors. Okay, so if I look at angle 1 is, I'm going to change the color really quickly. Angle 1 is this one, and it's adjacent to angle 2. It just means they're right next to each other. They're like neighbors, okay? They're neighbors that have the same house. Yes, there are houses that are like that. So neighbors that have the same house, they just share one common wall. And that's kind of like what adjacent angles are like. And then you have what's vertical angles, and they are formed by two intersecting lines, and they are congruent to each other. So if I look, they have two intersecting lines. I did a picture, and angle 1 and angle 3 are congruent to each other. They're vertical lines. They're opposite on the two sides of the lines. So then angle 2 and angle 4 are also vertical lines, and they're congruent to each other. And again, congruent means equal. And I notice I put that symbol right there with a squiggly line and two lines. That's how you say congruent. Because it is equal. If you look, the next vocabulary is congruent angles have the same measure. They are equal to each other, but you just put the congruent sign when we're talking about congruence. Okay, supplementary angles are two angles that equal 180 degrees. They do not have to be attached to each other. They just have to add up to 180 degrees altogether. Okay, you can have two separate ones. Or you can have one line that's the same, and that's 180 degrees. Remember, a line equals how many degrees altogether? A line equals how many degrees? Does anyone know that? Did no one teach you? A line, how many degrees does a line equal? 180. 180. Very good. So if I looked at it, a line equals 180 degrees. Okay? If I split it up, it still equals 180 degrees when you put the two together. Okay? And we're going to, I think, do that for math today. Complementary angles are two angles that equal 90 degrees. Can you think of one angle that equals 90 degrees? What is that called? Anyone? Right angle. Very good. You'll see something that looks like this with this little angle at the that little square box at the. And sometimes you're going to see complementary angles. That means they're going to have like they'll have it cut down somewhere on there, and they're going to say, here's 25 degrees. How much does this one equal? So you're going to do some math doing that way. All right, you might want to keep this in front of you because we're going to go to examples right now. We're still not done with vocabulary, but we'll start with the examples first. All right. Okay, example 1, here's the pictures that we're going to do. We have two that we're going to discuss, and it's the same idea, but I want you to really understand it. So we're going to find some measures. So they give you the picture. There are two lines that intersect. That's telling me they're going to have vertical lines attached with it. And some just normal lines. They're going to give you one measure, and you have to find the other three measures. Maybe not on the homework. They might just have you find one of them, but I'm just going to go over them so you can get it. So, on your homework, maybe it would be better if you can draw it out so you could do the math and understand what you're doing. So, angle 4 equals, I always write it down, so I have it right there. And after I draw it out, I write it in, and then I'm going to put measure angle 1 equals, measure angle 2 equals, and measure angle 3 equals. So you don't have to put them in when you're doing your math. You do not have to go, okay, I have to find angle 1 first. You don't have to do that. So we're going to discuss how to do the easy one first. Okay, so angle 2 is our vertical angle. And I mentioned vertical angles. What are vertical angles? They are congruent to each other. That means they're equal to each other. So that means angle 4 and angle 2 equal each other. So you're going to put 135 degrees. Now, angle 1 and angle 3 is a little different. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, never mind. I got it.
You have angle 1 and angle 3. Well, I don't know what that is. But if I do these two angles put together, angle 1 and angle 4, what does angle 1 plus angle 4 equal altogether?
150.
No. 180. Very good. It's a line, right? And then we discuss a line equals 180 degrees.
Duh.
180 degrees. Now, if angle 1 we don't know, but angle 4, what does angle 4 equal?
135.
So I'm going to put plus 135 equals 180.
Oh, I got this in. And then you have to subtract the 135 from the 180.
Very good. We're going to subtract the 135.
45.
45. Very good. So angle 1 equals 45 degrees.
And so 30 would equal the same thing.
Very good. So angle 1 equals 45 degrees. And angle 1 and angle 3 are vertical angles, so that means they
The same.
equal each other. Very good. So it's 45 degrees. All right. I'd like you to try B by yourself. B by yourself. Please put me on pause, and when you're finished, check and see if you got it correct. Show every work. All right. Angle 5. What do you have, Miss?
I have 160 degrees. Yes.
160 degrees. Do we all agree?
Yeah.
20 plus 160 equals 180. Very good. Measure angle 6. Daniela. What? Measure angle 6. What is it? 20 degrees. And Christian, what do we have for measure angle 7? 160 degrees. Very good.
This is pretty easy.
Yep. All right, now we're going to learn some more vocabulary. So you might, if you don't have any room on that side, turn it over so you can learn some new vocabulary on the next page. All right, so some more vocabulary. We have a transversal. A transversal is a line that goes through two other lines. So if you look at this picture, you have two lines and another line that goes through both of them. That line that goes through both is a transversal. Now we have what's called corresponding angles. They lie on the same side of the transversal and the same side of the other two lines. So if you look, I color-coded them. I said angle 1 goes with angle 2. Angle 3 goes with angle 4. Angle 5 goes with angle 6. And angle 7 goes with angle 8. So notice angle 1 and angle 2 are on the same side of the transversal. And they kind of are on the left-hand side of the lines. And angle 3 and 4 are on the same side and on the right-hand side of the lines. Then you have what's called alternate interior angles. I'm guessing that means they're inside something, and that means they're inside the two lines. And they're opposite sides of the transversal. So 1 and 2 go together, and 3 and 4 go together. Now, if the two lines are parallel that the transversal is going through, then the corresponding angles are congruent and the alternate interior angles are congruent. All right, so now we're going to do some math regarding that. Some of it is just name them, and then I don't know if you need to find out what the angles are. Yes, you do. So we'll go over that really quickly. So, all right, so example 2, I have that line L is parallel to line M, so I know everything is going to be congruent that works with each other. So we're going to name congruent corresponding angles. So, what would angle 1 go with? Is congruent to which one? Angle 3, very good. What would angle 2 go with? Angle 4. What would angle 8 go with? 6, very good.
And 7, 5.
Very good, 7, 5. And you want to keep this, especially for when we talk about C, okay? All right, now alternate interior angles. Notice corresponding angles has 4 different sections. Alternate interior only has 2 answers to that. So inside the 2 lines, I'm going to start with angle 2. And that corresponds to alternates with what? What one? Angle 2 and angle what? They alternate and they're inside. 6. Angle 6.
You did 2 angle lines. What's the word alternate?
Alternate.
So it's alternate.
So
like, on the
alternate.
other side,
They're on the other side of the transversal and they alternate each other.
so on the other side of the line.
Yes.
Okay.
But they're inside.
Yeah.
And angle 3 would go with angle 7. And that's all you can do. Okay?
2 and 6?
2 and 6. They're alternate to each other on the transversal.
Stretch.
And they're inside the 2 lines. Okay. Now, if I do, measure angle 1 equals 45 degrees. So I need to find angle 2, angle 3, and angle 5. Okay, angle 2 I'm not going to worry about yet, but angle 3 is congruent to what?
Okay, I write it like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Angle 2 is angle 3 is congruent to which one? Angle 1, so it's going to equal what?
45 degrees.
45 degrees. And what is angle 3 and angle 5? Please tell me what that is. That's not alternate interior or corresponding, but it's a vocabulary word from the beginning. Starts with a V. Vertical angles, and they are what to each other? Congruent, so it's going to equal 45 degrees. Now, if I look at angle 1 and angle 2, I put them together, what does that equal? 180 degrees, so it would be 180 minus 45, and that would be 135 degrees. All right, that's how you do your math today. Goodbye.